Okay, good evening, and welcome to your favorite sports program on the big station, Q95. And tonight, I am Lockhart Sebastian de Cibo. Together with me is
Emmanuel Loblack.
and
Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
oh, you're a smart man for a change. For a change, you say your name properly. You say no. And Ronald Lander has joined. Come on, Ronald. Introduce yourself.
Good night. I'm Ron Lander.
Oh, guys, before we started, let us give a clap for Fear Laugh, all right? And say hip 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 hooray. Let's give a
Hooray, man. That is,
let's give a clap, man.
Steve-O, I just took a picture of our position. We're number 63
right
in the world now. In the world, in Olympics.
Okay. And you know what, guys? Before we go into the let's start with a Booyah song. Let us start with a Booyah. Entertain the people with a Booyah song. Come on, let's go. And then let's do a Booyah song now. Come on, let's hear a Booyah song.
They will always be like, Shelly, where you
Right.
from? Booyah music, baby! 767 to the wall! Show me a country that's sweeter than this. Booyah music is what running the place. We crying, we rough, but the jam all wet first. The Booyah music puts a smile on my face.
That's a hopeless song, man.
Dominica, the land of the Booyah. And they know that. Dominica, the land of the Booyah. Dominica, the land of the Booyah. Show me a country that's sweeter than this. The culture so rich it just cannot erase. Sometimes our lyrics have been disgrace. But once we have rhythm, the drum and the bass. Dominica, the land of the Booyah. Let's do this music and Dominica, the land of the Booyah. Dominica, the land of the Booyah.
Yes. So welcome back, guys. So tonight we're going to be spending a lot of time on the Olympics, Fear Laugh Fun. We'll spend a little time on basketball, cricket, obviously. West Indies today, the Dominica team in St. Lucia. We have they had the KPL final last Sunday, so we have to talk about that. So we have a part program, and like I say, pride of place must go to Fear Laugh Fun. So when we come to that, we'll just take a little bit of the basketball. I think they have Ronald basketball finals, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have Donnie Robinson for a short while, and then we go straight into the Olympics because it's important. In fact, today we saw a man from Pakistan, a man that used to play cricket. They say he won the javelin. Did you all see that?
Yeah.
A former player who used to play cricket. Dr. Fontaine. Did you all see that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't
Steve-O,
know he used to play cricket, but I've been following
I'm
him
not surprised.
for a while now.
Lobby, go
I'm
ahead.
not surprised at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised. He has been throwing job. Yeah, he's a good thrower.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not
he
surprised
said
at
he
all.
used to play cricket and then he stopped and he just concentrated on throwing. And in fact, he shocked everybody today in that javelin. But I guess we have a lot of time. And apart from the Dominica thing, lady, obviously most Dominica, but to me, my favorite thing was Duplantis, the Swedish guy in that pole vault, man. To me, that is my Duplantis, man. That guy. Did you all watch
That
it?
is beyond
Very talented.
age, you know.
Yes, Dr. Fontaine?
No, I'm saying that is beyond belief that somebody can actually do that and execute that the way he did. I mean, 6.25 meters, you know. And he reminds me of another great pole vaulter, Sergei Bubka.
Right.
Remember in the 1990s that used to every time he'd break his record, but he didn't even get close. I mean, this guy is a you know, just a phenomenal talent. You know, but you know, he started at about 3 years old, huh? 3 years old, he was doing the pole vault. He's that but a miniature.
But the guy's only 24 years, you know that, eh? He's only 20
Yes.
24 years. So, you know, and he breaks the record every time. And you know, every time he breaks the record, he gets a bonus, right? So he times his thing properly. But to me, that was the highlight apart from...
You know, but quickly, talking about bonus, you know, I just realized that in this Olympics, for the very first time,
US, yeah,
they introduced that money, prize money for the gold medal.
50,000
That was
US.
never the case before.
Right.
For the very first time in 100 years of Olympic history, they've introduced this prize money of $50,000 US for the gold medal. Now, other sports, and that's only in track and field, eh? Other sports are grudging. You know, like the rowing.
Well, I saw the US today barely beat Serbia to get to the final of the basketball. They only won by 4 points. Eh? They only won by 4 points.
Yeah.
So
They're
very close. Yeah.
Yeah,
But guys, okay. Yellow B.
Can I? Yes. Yeah. You start talking about the Duplantis, but I think we have to look at
hold on. We don't want to go into that now. We have a whole long time to talk about that. So I just say let's give the headline, and then we'll come to that in a while because we're only going to have Donnie for about 10 minutes, and then we go straight. By the way, we have a call already. Let's take the caller. Hold on, Lobby. Let's take the caller. Yeah, caller. Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. I just want to compliment Low Black. I will give him his flowers as he's all right. When Fia won that
indoor competition,
to come in the competition, he always said she would win gold. And he was the only person calling to put billboards outside the place that people
Thank you very much.
What was going on.
Thank you very much.
But Ronald, no, that's not true. Ronald Lander was calling for that as well. Ronald Lander.
Low Black started it first.
Okay.
Low Black, I compliment Low Black.
Well, I hope you'll give him a kiss when you see him.
Yeah. He's not the same on carnival next year.
Okay, well, you give him a big hug and a big kiss, please, okay, when you see him.
Yeah, so thank you, Lobby.
Okay.
When I see Mr. String crying, what is that Billy crying? I said Billy crying for all the time when you could put a billboard so people would know what happened in Dominica. I'm a Dominican will be going to the Olympic. Or you never did shit until then you crying because you're in the national anthem playing. Be able to serve wicked people.
Okay, right.
Yeah. When Lobby brought out that idea of the billboards, I thought it was a brilliant idea, and I followed it up with the Olympic Association. And a senior member of the Olympic Association said to me that they were discussing with the DOC and government to have several billboards around Dominica. When I thought time was running out, I said to that senior member, there is an area
by the East Bridge.
West Bridge. The West Bridge, where there's an electronic advertisement area. If a government-related area, let's put that there on the West Bridge. Also, right next to the Windsor Park, another area that's associated with the government that they could put something to create fear for, and nothing was done. Interestingly, last night in the Castle Comfort area, I saw an area where an electronic board was put up with fear for.
Nice.
It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah. We're going to come to that, guys. There's something I want to mention. You know, this is the time I heard a speech given, and people talk about we must unite now. But listen, that's a good speech. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have to talk about something. You know, Leroy John Lewis played sports, right?
Thank you
and that's why I say people mustn't care about sports certain times. We must do it all the time.
True.
Leroy John Lewis played cricket for Dominica many times. He helped us win tournaments, and I will always remember that time in St. Vincent, one of the captain.
Didn't he play for West Indies in England?
No.
On selection team?
No. Wayne Phillip that did that. Wayne Phillip. Leroy, I remember in St. Vincent, we were under the pressure, and I remember, boy, Javon wasn't bowling well, and I called on Leroy. Leroy came into bowl, and he helped us win the game. But Leroy was a sports teacher.
True.
Teacher, a sportsman, a national cricketer, Windward Islands cricketer. Last Friday, do you know, normally when you hear death announcements now, every time you hear Left Tumon, Prime Minister this, Pal Rep this, all kind of things. There is a Minister of Sports, Ipatela. There is a minister in the Ministry of Sports, Oscar George, he wasn't there. The Pal Rep for the area was not there. I'm not even sure if the PS in that was there. And if this happening, that there is a guy who gave his all, he's been buried. And if we talk about unity, people cannot find time to come, my goodness. And we talk about unity and we want to help sport. We mustn't help sports only at certain times.
Glory.
At certain
But
times.
Simple, it's more than unity. Is the problem is that this government simply does not believe in sports and in development of sports. And that's what it is. That's the reflection of that. That there's somebody like Leroy that gave so much over so long a period to Dominica that he cannot get the honor in his death. It tells you where how the government prioritizes, sports in Dominica. That is the problem that we have. The government simply does not care about
but it's hurtful. The guy, as I say, he played cricket for Dominica. He was a sports teacher. He taught in a secondary school, and people couldn't find time just because they think he doesn't shout labor, labor. That is the reason. That is a reason to not to show up and to show respect, man. And we're talking about unity. How are you gonna get unity when you do that, Ronald?
That's a 60-year-old guy who has contributed tremendously to sports, to cricket in Dominica and the Windward Islands. I understood when a guy called from England, they brought him up to England, and he was very excellent in England, and presented Dominica very well in England. And he's a quality guy. That's what a loving guy. Every time you met that guy always have a love, always a bright smile to share with you. And there was an opportunity to give him a good send-off. And the government and the persons around did not embrace that opportunity.
Very sad.
Something is fundamentally wrong with us in Dominica.
You're very right. Let's take that caller. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
The last Minister of Sport we had was Ron Green. After Ron Green, we don't have a lot square peg in long road. They're pushing people there. Nobody after Ron Green is the original sports minister. Thank you and good night.
No, but the thing about it, Leroy was not a guy who was a bad person. We have another caller? Another caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
We're talking about sending off the dead in grand style. And there is no care, not even for the living. So I don't think there will be any care for the dead. And I say that in terms of the children. Because you travel on the Kenfield Road all the time. Are you aware that there used to be a savannah next to the airport?
That is true. That's true.
Just before you bend to go down by
Afuawi and so there, down there, yeah.
And right now, these things are abandoned, but we're talking about sports, and we're talking about achievement in sports, and we're talking about grooming the children to make them sportsmen in the future. But what is available for them to train and to grow up? There's nothing available. So there's no care for the living, much less for the dead. You understand?
Very interesting point.
The children is the future or are the future, whatever it is. You understand? But what kind of future are we preparing? Anyways, fine.
Very interesting point. We have another caller. Good evening. Good evening.
She was something I expected to see at Leroy's funeral. Where a lot of these children, the schools he taught sports in, at least the children maybe he was teaching sports would come there, even though they may be in their not adult, but in their 16, 17 and so. At least in their sports clothes, because some of the school teachers were there from Goodwood Junior High School, I think. So them were there. But at least I expected to see a lot more young people there from the schools to support him and his family. And I didn't see that, and I was kind of disappointed because I was speaking about it at the funeral ground, and a teacher just staring at me. I know she went and tell the other teachers what I was saying. So I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, but that was very sad, man. I mean, it doesn't hurt for just to come there an hour and a half, show your respect to the guy, just because you think he doesn't support you. Yeah, Lobby, go ahead.
Connection is bad.
Huh?
There's a
You're not
echo.
hearing us? You're not hearing us?
Okay, better now. Better now.
Okay. Dr. Fontaine, are you hearing us?
Yeah, yes, I can. Yeah,
Okay.
loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we must think about other people, man. If we say we want to unite, especially Fiala for having done that outstanding feat, it cannot be that we look one side and there's something else, guys. There is a security firm that employs 62 people. Their contract, that company have been going on for a while. The contract expired sometime last month. And do you know the one partner in the company died, and a senior officer in the government service said to the other partner, well, so-and-so died, so the company died. And up to now, they cannot resign the guy to another contract. 62 people are working. The people could be out of work soon. And people can do that because they feel the person, they're prepared to let 62 people go on the breadline, go and suffer because one guy there in charge and he's not supporting us. Let us let them suffer. What kind of society we have, guys?
Wow, this is serious, man. This is
62 people, and listen,
wow.
Well, we always have facts on Sportsmax. 62, one person in the company partner died, is dead. And they say because, he died, so the company dead. And other people could be out of work. They could be out of work. 60-something people, security people, my God. And you want to send the person contract. You rather let people suffer for one guy that you feel not supporting you. What is that? What kind of country is that, may say? Let's take this caller. Good night.
Hello, Sibo. Good night to everybody.
How are you?
I was talking about serious.
Mm-hmm.
As you talking on that thing about Leroy Johnson. Sibo, it wasn't like that long ago in the public service anymore there.
Mm-hmm.
Sibo, when somebody, whether it's a mother, father, close friend, somebody, Sibo, we used to collect, everybody used to put up $5 and buy a wreath. And some of us who could go used to go to the funeral. See, but it was never like that.
You're very well said.
I don't know how it come like that. We used to collect money among ourselves and buy a wreath for the person. That time we not know politics is our co-worker family. See, but what happened? It was never like that, Sibo.
You are very right. People, you see, politics have taken over, divided the place, and people have gotten nervous. As I tell you, look at this. A guy, people could be out of work, 60-something people. Soon, if a contract is not signed. Huh?
There has been, I'm a social scientist, and I've noticed that in Dominica. There has been a significant deterioration in our culture, in our value systems, in our priorities over the last 20 years. These guys who have been running Dominica over the last 2 decades are not concerned about the development of Dominica. They are concerned about the development of themselves and their close associates. So people have different priorities, different cultural approaches, different value systems. And that's going to be a very difficult matter to deal in the future. But we've got to deal with it very soon. Or else, Dominica is going to a deep, dark hole.
Boy, yeah, man.
Sibo,
Yeah, Lobby.
Sibo, you have to understand the young people, what they have now, BB rum and marijuana, legalized marijuana. That's what you have in the country now. A guy told me, look, he was in Dominica there recently and he could not believe what's happening in Dominica. Everywhere he passed is a little speakeasy. But
you didn't hear a lady say that in the House of Assembly that BB is the rum of Dominica. Somebody said that. You know that, Lobby? You heard that?
No. Is there a factory now in Dominica?
Well, you have to go and ask the lady.
There are factory in Dominica.
The lady from Newtown.
The BB rum is Dominica.
The lady
I
from
drink
Newtown.
BB spice rum.
Yeah. The lady from Newtown said drink that with grapefruit juice. You ever had it, Lobla? You ever had that
I don't
drink?
know about that. I'm not a drinker, Sibo. Never.
No, I don't ask you if you had that
That
drink.
is rubbish.
Well,
That's rubbish for me.
But the
It's
important
simple.
thing is the culture, the value systems, and the priorities has deteriorated significantly in Dominica.
Obviously.
You see our young
When they
people,
can-
their
when-
approach, the way they operate is
They're rough.
very, very depressing.
They're not smooth.
Nobody need to come home.
by the way, guys, just now, we're going to take our short break just now. You didn't hear in Bangladesh, a lady Pokui. You know, Val Coffey had a song. You know, who it was he said that Pokui? You remember Val Coffey had a song? He said somebody Pokui. Eh?
Ambrose.
Okay. Yeah, well, I couldn't remember the name. But yeah, Val Coffey, the lady Pokui, and policemen now are in hiding. Young guys, 17-year-old, are controlling traffic in Dhaka. Young people have taken over the country. They forced an 84-year-old man arrived in Bangladesh today, you know, to rule until they have proper election. But the lady Pokui, because she was autocratic, punishing people, and the people decide, oh yeah, we will show you who is the boss. Not you, we are the boss. And she's in exile now. She and her sister, they have to Pokui, take off, they run.
Thompson, you've got a big job to do. The production sector in Dominica has disappeared. The infrastructural center in Dominica is deteriorating. Things are getting bad to worse. People are not managing Dominica. And you see a set of politicians with their friends and their well-connected young ladies. You see young ladies all over the place now as cabinet secretaries, as permanent secretaries, and there is no performance. We had no value. Recently, yesterday, one of my friends from a family friend who is challenged, he said to me he needs to go to a exhibition in the area in Windsor Park. But I said to him, I saw most people going in the financial center, going out to another area. He said, no, it's in the Windsor Park. And I went to the Windsor Park and I saw a lot of talent in there. When I looked up, I saw the ministerial building. The ministerial building is dirty. The east area of the financial center is dirty. How can we live in that kind of environment? What are we doing in that kind of environment? We need to deal with those matters very urgently. We need to deal with the productive sector. We need to deal with the infrastructural center. You drive, Sibo, you drive all around. I drive from Roseau to Maho, and the set of the roads, implorable. The amount of holes in the road, you have to be very careful how you drive all over the place. And we're just falling apart because we're under poor management.
Before we take our break, Ronald, as you talk about driving, if something is done good, we have to complain. You know, many times on Sports Rap, we spoke about that dangerous road in the Maho area. It has now been done, and we have to clap for the authorities. They have repaired it because people could end up in that fallace there. So, well, Dr. Tonklin, I'm sure you know the road in Maho.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I drive by there all the time.
Right. So it's been repaired, and
but it didn't have to take so long. What about the one in Bells?
It took
there's one in Bells. There is one in that area above Antrim there.
You're right.
Area there. Those areas needs to be fixed, and we're approaching the hurricane season. In fact, see, well, we have bad weather approaching as well.
Well, I have to ask you that. I noticed today, I saw it, they said that there is one on the horizon. So before we leave tonight, you must tell people about it, because I heard they say about we could get some rain Sunday, Monday. A lot of rain.
Well, it's more than rain. It is a tropical storm season that could develop into because you know we're in the middle of the hurricane season. The really bad part of the season starts in 2-3 days time, and by sometime next week we could have something more than just rain in Dominica, and that is something we have to look at.
Well, before we leave tonight, I think you should tell listeners, because I had to ask you that. I saw that before I came here, and I said, well, I have to ask you to let listeners know something that could develop, because I saw they were talking about the northeast Windward Island. Nothing's Caribbean, they were saying.
Yeah. Dominica is
obviously us and Antigua, Northeast, if you're talking about Northeast Caribbean.
Yeah. It's actually in the sweet spot where it could impact us. Definitely impact Dominica. And
so we have to talk about it. Yeah. And then
I just want to hear, I mean, you're aware of that, the accident that took place. You had the Simon, Dorian Simon, his sister, and his nephew that passed on Tuesday.
Yeah, very sad.
Condolences.
Shocking, Robbie.
Yeah.
Who is very shocking. Dorian Simon, his nephew, and his sister, two of them died. In other words, mother and son died within an hour of each other. Shocking.
So that's mother and son. But
that died.
I thought it was Wayne. Was it Wayne?
Yeah, Wayne is dead.
Wayne is dead, and his mother died maybe less than an hour after. Maybe she got the news and probably whatever happened. I'm not gone. I don't know yet. Mother and son died within an hour of each other. Very sad and really shocking.
Social media, yeah.
We have another caller. Good evening. Okay. So we'll take our first break, guys, and when we come back, we'll start with basketball, and then we go straight into the Olympics. We'll take our first break now.
When you want me there, what you do? Shop at SCS, better than the rest. Shop at SCS, and they all compare. Shop at SCS, you get more for what they say. Shop at SCS, shop at SCS, yeah. Shop at SCS, shop at SCS, what they say. Shop at SCS, SCS family, customer friendly, with 3 locations, it's so convenient, and our prices they are the nicest. Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCS. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCS. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side, what? Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Check us out at Portersville, High Street, and downtown Rose.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
All you where in Roseau, Kimashadis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast, and you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available, and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Yeah, okay, we're back, guys, and I think we have on the line with us the president of the Basketball Association, Mr. Donnie Robinson. Good night, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Good. Dr. Fountain is there, Lobby is there, Ronald is there. Well, Donnie, we haven't spoken to you for a while, and I think you have a lot of basketball finals going up. I think you have a big competition coming up soon. Well, keep the listeners informed. Let listeners know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Good night again, folks. Well, basketball is this week in full swing. We have a few things happening. This week in particular, we have the finals of the Division 1 taking place, and that's happening between the Detroit Blazers and Dr. Daru Falcons Division 1 team. The game's best of 5, and we are locked at 1-1 after 2 games. So it's a lot of action. The teams are pretty evenly matched, and it's actually bringing us some huge crowds in Massac. So we're encouraging the folks to continue to come on. The next game is scheduled for Friday night. But tonight, we have the Premier Division semi-final rounds that are happening. So we have 4 teams left in the Premier Division. And tonight, the second games of the best of 3 series among the Premier Division teams.
But people, we need to know the teams, Donnie. You need to tell listeners which teams, please. Yeah.
So in the Premier Division, we have the matchup of the number 2 seed, which is the Dr. Daru Falcons, and the number 3 seed, which is the Paybush team from Paybush. And they are playing tonight in the second game of a best of 3, and Falcons leads that series 1-0. And the second set of semifinals is between the number 1 seed, the Detroit Blazers, and the number 4 seed, the 767 Sports Club. And the game number 2 is also tonight at 9 p.m. and Detroit Blazers leads that series 1-0. So these are the games that are on tonight. And the second set of games, as I said, the finals would start if the series would end tonight. The finals would start on Saturday. If not, you'd have the first set of games played on Saturday night.
Yes.
Don't you tell us about the more outstanding players, guys who are excelling now?
Yeah, so in the Division 1, you have guys like Zach Bastian from Dr. Daru Blazers. He's averaging upwards of 18 points per game, very up-and-coming player. You have guys like Yawani Regis as well, playing for that team, doing pretty well. They have about 3 top guys. The other guy will be Mishak, a guy called Mishak Deboule. All these guys are products of the inter-school and they're playing together for a while, so they're doing pretty well. They're the 3 leading players on the Falcons team in Division 1. And for Blazers, you have players like Jetsuan Lee, Eliza Popo, those kind of guys that are really standing up and putting up a fight. So it's good to see the young players stepping up, but it's even better for basketball that, you don't have one team running away with it. So that's that for the Division 1.
And Donny, you have this competition coming up soon. I think it's the Creole competition. You dub it. That's the name you have for it.
Yes. So there's a Creole basketball championship coming right at the end of our season. Hopefully we can wrap up our league sometime next weekend, and the following week we have the Creole basketball, which involves teams from Dominica, Guadeloupe, St. Lucia, and Antigua. It's a reward. Basically, it's actually a club championship. So what we're going to have, because it's a Dominica-based club championship, pretty much is what we're trying to get it to be. So we're going to have the top 3 teams from Dominica representing, again, more basketball for local players, and they would go up against the other 3 teams that are coming in, St. Lucia, Guadeloupe, and Antigua, starting on the 21st, which is the 2 weekends from now, and lasting 3 days at the Massac Sports Complex.
Do you have sponsors for that, Donny?
Yes, Express Deal is the major sponsor. Express Deal, the local agent in Whitchurch, is the primary sponsor for that competition. So it's actually called the Express Deal Creole Basketball Tournament.
Yeah, how do you see the scientific evolution of basketball in Dominica?
That's a nice word.
Yeah.
I would say, and I've always said, I don't know if it's scientific or not, but I think basketball goes with the grassroots development. We had a wave of basketball that came through when you had it in the schools and in the clubs and the villages, and we saw basketball excel. And when you had it available, I guess, in most of the public settings, the Windsor Park, the Goodwill Courts, etc. Now basketball has kind of evolved into more of a smaller group playing, less organized from the school standpoint, more on an individual love the sport basis. So from an evolution standpoint, it is more, in my opinion, more individual. So you have better individual players, but from a basketball growth standpoint, I think our basketball quality overall has suffered because you play less organized basketball. That is my best explanation of that.
Lobby, you have any question for Donny, Dr. Fountain, you guys?
Yes. I listened to Donny, and it speaks about Landa speak about scientific and evolution. And as Donny said, what has happened, gentlemen, and sports on the whole, basketball. You look at the Windsor Park. You look at what happened to Windsor Park. You had the Windsor Park was available 24/7. 24/7. And guys played basketball 24/7. Guys were fit. So you had the standard. The standard was very, very high. All right? And that was the mecca, the place for basketball. You had this team all over. The school system, as you said, the school system has dropped. It has dropped, gentlemen. So when I'm listening to this thing up, Donny, about the drop. It has to drop. You have the city, There isn't a team in Roseau, not a team. You have teams in Roseau. There isn't anything else. There isn't anything else at all. What you have, is BB rum and marijuana? That's all you have in the place.
Donny, let's when next are we going to participate in regional Windward Islands or any regional competitions?
Well, I think the good thing is, things like the Creole basketball is a start, where you can get people to start get the idea of leaving their shores and going out to play. You have some tournaments that are invited tournaments that we are trying to become staples in, like the Battles of the Cities in St. Margaret, that we're hoping we can participate annually from a national level. But the Windward Islands tournament is something that we've targeted between the three active associations in the Windward Islands so far. We are targeting that to try to see if 2025 we can have a tournament in the summer. We have indicated that we will be more than happy to give it a run at hosting it, and so too as one or two of the other islands. But it's more about getting basketball organized along all the islands. All the islands, to be honest, have gone through this lull in their organized, at least basketball at the national level. And we are hoping that next year we can have a regional Windward Islands tournament. But in the meantime, we have 2 or 3 tournaments that we have definitely we are focused on, that we can have representation. Yes.
Yeah, Donny, that's very good. Continue working on the national development of basketball. and let's hope that we can go from strength to strength. How do you see the Olympics developing, the USA?
Man, today was a game to remember. I mean, I think the US will win, and games like today with a 4 or 5 point lead over Serbia, it shows that.
What was the difference today? What was the difference today in scores?
95-91. 95-91. 4 points. Yes. So games like today actually, in my opinion, shows why I think the US dominates basketball. I mean, you come from a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, you hold a team to 15 points or something like that. You go up and score 40 points at will in fourth quarter at the highest level of basketball internationally. It speaks volumes, but it also shows how the rest of the world is catching up with or has caught up with the US basketball. Two different styles, more solid fundamentals from the Europeans, and then the North Americans are more flashy and athletic. But it is good to see that the level globally of basketball has caught up to almost at a plateau where you can pick 4 or 5 different countries that are very similar in terms of the level. But I still see the US winning simply because they just have too many offensive weapons. At the end of the day, FIBA rules really now, especially compared to the NBA, really promote defense. But none of those teams that are in the finals are going to be set on playing defense. So it's going to come up to the team that scores the most, that dominates the ball the most, which I think the US will do. So,
well, France might have done it, 40,000 people cheering for them, eh?
I don't think that's going to make a difference when you have 10 of the best players playing. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, in fact, you look at Steph Curry today. He had done nothing for the whole competition, and today he came up with 36 points. I mean, he was outstanding today.
Points today.
Yeah,
exactly.
He had done nothing.
That's what makes the US even more dominant. Yes. Any of those guys can go up for 40 points on a night.
Yeah.
And was hot all season, and then he comes in the last season in the final quarter, he took his shot.
And Donnie, that to say to Lobby, the oldest man on the court was outstanding again today. He had a triple-double, eh?
Yes.
The oldest man. The oldest man on the court.
Yeah, but Sibo.
Good to see.
Yes, Lobby.
Yeah, but Donnie, yes, while they're saying that, towards the end there, he took a shot that could have cost US the game. Because I find to myself, KD and Curry, especially Curry is hot. Get going and give him the ball. Screen, give him the ball. Make it easier for him. He took a shot, I tell you.
You have to also remember you play with a team of guys that each of them still believe they're the best players.
No, but I find that shot he took there could have cost US the game.
Yeah.
And the good thing too, you can see from a team's perspective, those guys haven't played as much as the other countries together.
True.
It still comes down to the last quarter to individual skills. And Curry there's nobody that can stay with Curry as a point guard anywhere, so he'll go off. And, Kevin Durant can shoot over anybody in the world. So the individual skills kind of take over in the fourth quarter.
True, yeah.
To see that they get a good run, I mean, 95-91 is a really good score at any level. So, I mean, it's good.
But Donnie, see about one thing there to Donnie. One I want to say is this: as we're talking about basketball and the lull, one thing we have to understand is this: with the old Windsor Park that could accommodate 5,000 people, and then the big game, we had the OECS games, we had the Winter Island games, that itself, and the place was open, that gave life to basketball in DA.
I know Thompson. Thompson's second nationality is Sudanese, and the quality of Sudanese basketball has improved tremendously. Sudan nearly beat the USA in the warm-up game.
Yes.
It's so interesting how basketball has improved all over the world.
But and they also went 2-2 with Serbia. They acquitted themselves very well against Serbia.
But don't forget, gentlemen, there is the African League that's taking place. The African League has helped a lot. Dr. Fontaine.
So, but I'll tell you something,
playing in North America as well.
Go ahead, Dr. Fontaine, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say the ability of sport to transform countries. The team returned today to South Sudan, and it looked like the entire country was there at the airport to receive them.
Wow.
You know, and to imagine that they only won 1 out of their 3 games, but it meant so much to the country. It meant so much, you know, that
The
sense
impact,
of pride.
yes.
You know, for a country that has gone through so much turmoil, so much conflict, so much war and famine and hardships and so on. And suddenly there are a group of young guys on the court that are going toe-to-toe with the United States, toe-to-toe with Serbia. They beat Puerto Rico in the Olympics. And the people of South Sudan are just, it has brought the people together in a way that, you know, the politicians have not been able to. And it's just phenomenal to see the scenes today at the airport, you know, and it shows the power and the ability what sports can bring to a country, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Donny, let's say thank you very much. So we will be in touch with you next week. And thank you so much, man. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Donny.
Yes, guys, it was nice talking to Donny. So let's switch straight up to Olympics. Straight up to the Olympics. And obviously, pride of place, guys, must go to Fear Lafont. This is a big deal. Eh? Winning an Olympic gold medal is a big deal. And we, on Sports Wrap, we'd like to congratulate Miss Lafont on this outstanding feat. And Lobby, I yield to you. I mean, open the batting, Lobby. Open the batting, bowling, whatever you want to open. Go ahead.
Yes, Sebastian. Yes, yeah. Sebastian. Sibo, I have a lot of joy, but a lot of pain also inside me.
Go
a lot
ahead.
of pain.
Say what you have to say, bro.
A lot of joy, a lot of pain. Because, you know, when I saw, you know, first of all, I wasn't surprised because I knew that from the time Rojas from Venezuela got injured, that Fear had a massive chance at the gold medal. And it would have been between Ricketts
of... about that, yeah.
Ricketts
go ahead,
Jamaica.
Dr. Say we spoke about that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Ricketts and Fear. And let me tell you, when Fear jumped 1502, when does Ricketts turn to jump? Let me tell you something. And that girl hop, and when she stepped, and I saw her hang in that air, I said, oh my God, don't tell me she's going over 15. And she just dropped. I said, okay, that is Fear on. Because, you know, Ricketts really gave it a shot, you know. And I was just very happy that Fear became big. Don't forget, Fear moved from the Commonwealth Games to the World Indoor. All right? Then you have the Olympic Games. A very tremendous fit for Fear. But Sebastian, there's one thing you must understand, Sebastian. While we are very joyful, you must never forget that we only bask in glory in Dominica. We wait for the glory. We wait for the glory for us to jump up. I think they're just jumping as like all over they're drunk and it's other, all over the place. But as land, no, seriously.
Go ahead,
and myself.
Go make your points, Black.
Yes, Land and myself said, what we should have done. The banners, to advertise, to promote Fear. How could we lost an opportunity? Why should we wait for her to win? We knew that all of us knew that she would have won.
Hold on. Let me ask you. You sure all of us knew that? Let me tell you one thing, and you'll come back this now. In St. Lucia, right? There were 4 screens put around the country, including Cicero. Well, listen, hold on. We'll come back to you, where she's from. So St. Lucians, obviously, they put screens. People were all over hoping. But most Dominicans were at their home. They were not sure if she would have won. And we're ready like we were not prepared, honestly. That's how I look at it. Back to you.
Sibo, just now. If you're already following, these diamond leagues, you're following Fear's performance, you follow what's happening. You have different events and multiple events. Triple jump. And Fear has been outstanding. Fear has been, you're going into the Olympic Games. And you tell me that, that we just sit back and hoping. No, we can't be in hope. You know exactly from the time Rojas got injured, Rojas, we knew, I knew that, and many of us knew that she was a strong favorite. All right? St. Lucia, this girl in St. Lucia, I knew this girl would have won. Because first of all, she competed more this year than Sha'Carri. She has been well prepared, so I wasn't surprised at all when Alfred won that gold medal. I was not surprised. But coming back home, Sebastian, I like what Fia said. Fia said, as she said, we have to deliver. We need a track. She said, if we had a track in Dominica, she would have done a lot of training in Dominica. And
okay, let me ask you a question, Lobby, Dr. Fountain Ronald. I keep hearing we need a track. Good, fantastic. But a track alone is not going to be doing to know. Because what I would say to you, I don't know if you all will agree with me. If we're going to get a track, we have to put ourselves in readiness. We should start sending people coaches. We need coaches. So if it means we send people to Jamaica to get to learn from Glenn Mills, from Stephen Francis, we also need people like massage therapists. We need all these people, physiotherapists. All these people are required. It's not only having a track.
Sibo, no. I think you have no. I don't agree with you at all. I don't agree with you, please. What you don't agree with? What you don't agree with? Go ahead. We have coaches. Sebastian, we need a track. First and foremost, we'll have the Junior Character Games. And listen to that. Alfred was a medalist at the Character Games. You know what they did? The government, they sent her to Jamaica. From Jamaica, she got a scholarship to the US. We have had gold medalists at the Character Games. What have happened to them? Like all the other countries, all the people who have been from the Caribbean, you see are winning medals. They have been medalists, gold medalists at the Junior Character Games. That is where they started. Jamaica, for example, all what they have been winning, these people have dominated the Character Games. We have had gold medalists, gold athletes. What have we done? What have we done, gentlemen? Look, for example.
So what is wrong if we start putting ourselves in readiness, getting things like massage therapists?
The first and foremost thing, you need a track.
I understand that.
You need to put a package together, Lobby.
I understand you need a track, but you need a lot of other things.
You need a package.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Dr. Fountain.
We have to come back home, Lobby, to work with the people on the track.
Brother, look,
hold on a minute. Hold on, Dr. Fountain. Doctor, we'll come back to you. Good evening. 1 minute. Yes, sir.
You understand you know. They don't understand you yet, you know. Because you said that as part of the we need a track, we need other things too.
Yes.
A package.
Yes.
A package.
That will come in.
Hold on. Let him make his point here. Go on.
You see, because that's part of it. And number one, the stadium, the first time we had the stadium, I was supposed to be there. Didn't have the track in it on the plan.
So yeah, I think so. Yes, correct. Yeah.
What do you call that now?
Well, you know what happened, Muku.
But there was supposed to be a track there in the first plan. So right now we're suffering from it now. That's what happened. And that's my contribution.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Dr. Fountain, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think the point.
Okay, hold on, Dr. Fountain. Hold on 1 minute. Let's take the caller. Good evening.
We need a sporting arena. We need a stadium to take all sports. We need sports for javelin. We need a sport area that we can do all different mix. We need that. And then we will start to get the people to train. I think that is what we have to do. Let me ask you a question, quick. As we go into what do you think about Noah and Thompson? Because I was watching the replay today, and I thought Thompson had won.
Well, we'll come to that, Blue. We'll come to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Fountain, you were going to say, yeah.
Yeah. So much to talk about, but I wanted to talk to just continue that conversation. What Mano is saying is that the track is the starting point. When I was the secretary of the Dominican Amateur Athletic Association, Mano was one of our coaches. We organized IAAF training courses for coaches, and there was never a shortage of persons willing to train and to get certified. So that will come into place, but you need what's going to motivate people even more is that you have a track in place, and the fact that we've not put that has really caused us a lot, put us back a lot of many years.
Let me ask you a question: how long it will take to get a track? How long will it to develop a proper track? How long you think it will take, Dr.
That does not take long to do.
I'm asking you. You are the experts.
Within 1 year, you can construct a first-class facility within 1 year.
But to get a first-class, wouldn't you need a plan? Wouldn't you need finance everything to do that?
Well, yes, but my understanding of what Fia is saying is that I suspect that is the case, that the International Olympic Committee is willing to, there are some solidarity funds that you can access, so that if the government of Dominica makes available the land, then they can get the funding to put the track down. You see, so I think it's a question of just getting the land, identifying the land, and getting it done. And you heard Fia in an interview. She was very clear. She was like, years now, we have this thing, we have the money, we have the resources through the IOC. We just need the government of Dominica to give us the land. And the question is, why it is that this government has taken so long to do what is necessary? We've been crying pretty near on Sports Trap all these years, and people have been talking about it. And I said, 30 years ago, I was with Low Black when we were in track and field in Dominica. And we were talking about having an all-weather track in Dominica. That was a big deal. After we got acceptance into the Olympic Committee, the next big drive was to get the track. I mean, I left in 1994 soon afterwards to go and study, but that was the whole thing. We just get a track on Dominica because we have the talent. The raw talent is there. We are naturally gifted in track and field. Absolutely.
But gentlemen, let me refresh your memory, because you keep saying we can do this. Do you know earlier late last year, the ICC opened up applications for the World Cup, right? Dominica applied. Dominica was successful. You all know what happened, right?
Yeah.
We were successful in the World Cup. We could have gotten 4 matches. We know what happened. We do pate tape. So we keep saying, well, we'll get it. We'll have the fund. Listener, 2-point-something million was given to somebody, to put lights in Windsor Park. Nobody's speaking about that. That money disappeared. No lights there. So we keep saying we can do this and we can do that. We have to be careful what we say. Listen, Low Black work in the sports division. For over 30-something years, every year, we sent a team to Barbados to Garfield Sobers tournament. This year, Dominica didn't take part. You part in larger. They couldn't go. They couldn't go to the tournament 30-something years in a row. So we keep saying we can do this. We have to be careful, guys. Anyway, go on. Yeah, go ahead.
Listen to that, Sibo. Just to what Dr. Fontaine was talking about, the international body. Sibo, that is a fact. The international body will contribute. They will contribute a considerable amount of money, all right, in the construction of a track in this. They have done it in St. Lucia, in the African, they have done it already. All we need is the land from government. And number 2, Sibo, when it's being done, it has to be certified. It must be certified by the international body. Must. All right?
But didn't the president of the Athletics Association say right here, they have the land? Did you say that right on Sports Rap?
Well, remember I told him when they're going to start? And he said, listen, Brendan came on this program, I will say it, and I was totally disappointed with Brendan when he told the populace that what they're looking into is to have sand pits. You remember that, Dr. Fontaine?
Yeah.
He said,
no, that was a temporary measure.
I told him that his craziness.
A temporary measure.
You want to install sand pits?
Yeah.
Talk about a
temporary measure. But what we are seeing here, is indicators of poor management of Dominica in all dimensions, be it in sports, in economics, poor management.
1 minute, guys. Let's take a caller. Good evening.
Hi, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Help me out here a little bit, because I understand the excitement about wanting a track. I think a track can only be good. But it seems to me, if you're going to have an international quality track with a synthetic track, you're going to have a place that has to be maintained. I guess you're going to therefore be talking about having national games, because why you don't just have a track for people to run.
Right.
You have a track to have some organized activities. So you have national games, which means you're going to have programs in the schools where people are running sports in the schools, because if you have no one running in the schools, on tracks in the schools, then how will they get to national games? So I understand people want the track, but I think you are correct. I mean, there is a broader program that has to be thought of, and I'm not sure that just having the track is good too.
But that's why I said we need other things in addition to the track. That's why I said.
But just
hold on, Lobby. Caller is still there. That's it, caller?
No. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Now,
hold on, Lobby. We have another caller. Hold on. Lobby, hold on. We have another caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, Tibor, good evening.
Good evening.
Lobby, good evening.
Yeah.
All the others, Brother Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Tibor, boy, Tibor, film before from Aussie days, Tibor. I've been asking all you, man, bro. And I know you 4 weeks in a month. I've been begging, boy, we have to spend more focus on Dominica. You guys have dropped the ball to, sports rap, You guys have essentially for the longest while been like just a terminal of foreign sports.
That's not true. That's not true. No.
That's not true, my brother.
That's not true.
That's not true. We've been focusing on a lot of local sports.
Okay, let's listen to him.
Yeah.
But that's not true. Anyway.
Yeah, don't say that, my brother. Don't say that.
Let me finish, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't say that, Zed.
No, go on.
When have you guys spent an hour? You have an hour today. Tell me when last time you all spent an hour on Dominican sports. Tell me.
But we always have people. That's all we have. We have to call different people speaking about football. We always have the PRO. We always have the.
I'm just saying, like, change the strategy.
So what? Okay, what do you recommend? Let me ask you. Yeah. What do you recommend?
More time on sports rap.
Well, what I'm asking you.
More time on sports rap. It will help the thing to inculcate. It's a culture. And I'm talking about a track. Boy, school business we need. You know how much years it take this woman to get where she get to? It's not overnight people going to get that, We have to talk. It's a culture that have to change in the country. It's not just a track.
And said you need to come home to help to change that culture. You can't stay in America and run your mouth all the time. Come to Dominica and help to change the culture.
All right, let me cool up, brother. Cool up. Go ahead. Calm down, brother. All right. Go ahead.
I'm good. The point made.
Go ahead. You finished?
Yeah. Point made.
You sure? You all right? That's it? That's all you have to say?
Yeah, man, the culture. Just give a little more time on sports rap towards local sports.
But we always do that. I said to you, we're doing that all the time. So we're doing that all the time. Anyway, go ahead. No problem. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Lobby. Yeah.
Yes, Tibor, yes. Just the caller earlier on, talking about the track. We must understand that, Sebastian, you compete. When you go out to compete international at the youth level, at the senior level outside, you compete on tartan. You compete on a synthetic track. You don't compete on grass. You're throwing javelin. You're doing shot put. You're doing long jump. You have to run. It's very important to have the track. Now, number one, Tibor.
Go ahead.
You touch in terms of, you can get disqualified. If you don't practice on the track properly, you can get disqualified if you touch the inner lane. You can get disqualified. You have to practice balance. You have to practice, if you're 200 meters, you have to practice properly.
But let me ask you, that's why I made the point about having proper coaches. That's why I said in addition to
coaches, Tibor. We have coaches here.
You think we have the right coaches? We have proper coaches in Dominica?
Do we have proper coaches for
But Sibo, the point I made earlier is that is easy to do. The International Athletic Association will equip the country once we are ready to do the training for the coaches. They will send the people.
But let him finish them, man. Lobby.
So I'm saying that is the least of our problems, because once the sport begins to improve and the visibility and so on, once you have people who are willing to step up, they will get the necessary training. So that is the least part. But the starting point, you have to start somewhere.
That's the point.
You don't start with the coaches. You start with the
physical facility.
With the
No, I'm agreeing with you all. You know the track. I'm not saying in addition to. Let's take this call.
Probably we don't have enough now. but it is relatively easy in the scheme of things. As it, it's not as difficult. It's not very difficult.
Okay, let's take this caller. We come back. Good evening. Okay, the caller gone. Go on.
Yes, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Sibo, listen to that.
Okay, hold on again. The caller is back. Hold on. Good evening.
Yeah, Sibo, what's up?
All right.
Yeah, that's Marcellus. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Yeah, I listened to the program on this track. Sorry. No, I guess it's different priorities because in Nevis has a 9-lane Monday track. One of 3 countries in the world that has that kind of facility. No, that was put in on account of we have what we call we call it the Mini Olympics, the primary school championship kilo. 9 primary schools. They used to perform. They used to have the event at the Grove Park. You know Grove Park?
Of course, yeah.
Right. And the government decided that they're going to put them because based on the performance of the team, and that is one of the biggest events in Nevis. It's a half holiday. Loads of people come over and it is one of the biggest social events you can get in Nevis at any point in time. And on account of that, what the government did, they put in this track facility. They got Mundo, is one of the companies that specialize in this track, a special kind of farm track. 3 countries in the world, and also of course one in England, I think in France, and the other one in Nevis. And Nevis has a 9-lane track, right?
Right.
And as I said, that was put in on account of the primary school championship, which is the biggest. Now, since you have had the Monday track, there were a lot of people coming in, guys coming to children and so we have cultural games, and they have the national kids, the national athletes using the train because they're fixing everything calling stadium right now, and the athletes come over to the train. So I guess it's just starting. Nevis is 36 square miles today. And when you're talking about the land space and place to put the track, I think it's just starting. When they come to coaches and stuff, I did IWF 94, 96. The training. We had a cohort of coaches who did the training. Joe Harrington, I see the football now. A cohort of coaches who did the training. 35. You go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. Who are 35 IWF level 1 coaches. We had that in 94, 96 when it come up. A number of coaches were trained. So the track is necessary. And I made it myself in the earth. So once you have the track, the other things will fall into because running on this grass thing, it doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't help the athlete. So you need to put in the facility. And I said, I don't think land can be a problem. This is 36 miles. And we have an international track, a 9-lane. I don't think many countries in Canada have a 9-lane track.
True. You're right. You're right, brother. 8 lane.
Most of the track is actually we have a 9-lane track.
I know.
A Monday track. Yeah, so
Thanks for that, bro. Thanks for that, man.
Sibo, I want to add to what the caller and to bring another perspective.
That was our boy from Nevis, Marcellus Lee. Go ahead.
I want to in the early 1990s when we were into the track and field, when I was in track and field, and Emmanuel was the coach and so on, and he was in charge of the Olympians and so we used to have this inter-island competition sponsored by Texaco.
You're still there. Okay, you're still there with us. All right, go on.
But listen, way back in the 70s, we used to have big competition in the parking lot. Pole was with Herbie Schilling Ford, a special man pole.
Yep, right.
Guys, the Lawrence brothers, we used to have serious competition with Eddie. This Eddie guy shot brother, good middle distance runners. We had a lot of competitions in Windsor Park. And just a little digression, as Lobby mentioned about the basketball. Windsor Park is in Mecca, and it pains me that there's not team from Rose in the league. Very wrong with that, man. You don't have a team from Rose? I live in and really want to decentralize and stuff. But what has happened because fellas don't play enough basketball? You can't do no. As I said, I heard some radios on it done some time ago and say they're playing less basketball. You can't play less and improve and get better. How you going to play less and get better? We used to play, Robin knows, we fellas used to live in Windsor Park.
What? I'm telling you.
Live there.
If we study the athletics, if we study the athletics, Remember sports day in the grammar school? Sports day
on a Sunday.
In grammar school?
Yeah, but that used to be around Easter time, eh? It used to be around Easter time.
I see boys doing BJ with stick or blows.
I wanted to make a point. I wanted to make a point on the historical part of it.
Marcellus, hold on a while. Dr. Fountain wants to make a point.
Because I wanted to build on Marcellus' point, because I remember I was saying in the early 90s when we would go, we had this Texaco. Right. The former Texaco IB become something else now, but they used to sponsor the Inter-Island, the Windward Island track and field competition.
So OCS games.
We would take the OCS game. We would take office. I remember the first time I traveled to St. Lucia. I was a young man, in the association and so on. And I remember that, we were actually in St. Lucia. It was a grass field. St. Lucia was just like Dominica at that time in the early 1990s. And so we were able to compete with them. We were up there. In fact, I remember, just a small joke. I remember that first time I was staying at a hotel, and when I got up in the morning, I was sharing a room with somebody else, and I ended up fixing the bed. And the guy told me, no, I don't have to do that. Somebody will come and as a young man, not knowing those things, I figure, you get up, you fix them, and tell me, no, man, don't worry, someone will come and do that, But we were there with our team from Dominica.
That's what Marcellus said.
But then a couple of years later, all of the countries left us. And the only country in that state now is Dominica.
True.
And the
management.
Let Marcellus wrap up. Let him wrap up. Go ahead, wrap up now. Yeah.
Yeah, and people getting that to get it. We had class athletes.
True.
Class athletes, and no question beyond brothers. We had people. I mean, it's just amazing. And as Ron said, I just want to dig you on Telecan. He was a DJ man. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, BJ too. Yeah.
Well, remember Skinner dominated.
Yeah.
That track in Damacool. It's just shoot and we carried with him. So, but it was a national event basically.
Yeah, man.
Because it's top and athlete. So this thing is that it's not a yesterday thing. It's not. I mean, I know people want to write history, but they have had top athletes to compete in the Caribbean. And it's very well. So, I mean, if we had a track, back then, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Yeah. But guys, it's not only track, and I'm saying here, the building a state-of-the-art, they say, school in Goodwill School. Give them a state-of-the-art playing field as well, please. That I would like to see, because you cannot be building school in this day and age without proper facilities for the kids to play. So I'm hoping the authorities now, if they're really serious about sports, they must piggyback on what this girl Fialafa has done at Goodwill Secondary School. Give the kids a state-of-the-art playing field, please.
Sibo, in addition to that, I'm wondering what is the government? Has the government announced anything for Fialafa? Because
what we heard is a committee being put in place to do something. That's what we heard. A committee.
But listen to this. Carlos Yulo, who has made history as the Philippines' first ever male Olympic gold medalist
in gymnastics, in the vault.
In gymnastics, that was the first ever. Listen to what he's going to receive from the Philippines government: a lifetime of free colonoscopies after he turns 45, a fully furnished condo worth over $400,000 US. He's going to receive food, a house. Number 4, over $250,000 in cash. Number 5, an iPhone 6. Number 6, 2 free restaurant franchises. Number 7, a lifetime of free mac and cheese, grilled chicken, ramen, and from different restaurants. And number 8, a free college education. That is what this guy gets for being the first gold medalist in the Philippines. I wonder what the government of Dominica is going to do to honor Fialafa as Dominica's first ever Olympic medalist.
Well, we hope to get something substantial. Because it's a big deal. An Olympic gold medal is something big. And we have to appreciate that. But do something for the young lady. Give her something big. They say there's a committee. As usual, When you hear committees, the packative labor rights, it is not normally people who will do the best for everybody, but that's what happens. So we are hoping whichever committee or whoever the people are will give the girl something substantial for what she has done.
Thibault.
And yes, Lobby?
Yes. Yes, Dr. Fontaine was talking about the technical games.
Mm-hmm.
And in those days, we all had grass.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to talk to Red Ferreira, P.T. Red, he can tell you about the dominance of Dominica at the OECS games.
Hold on, Lobby. Just hold the trend up. Good evening, caller. All the lights good. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sibo.
Yes, ma'am.
Sibo, let me tell you, this is a lazy government. They're even lazy to think of what to do for this young lady. Lazy government. Thank you.
Another caller. Good night. Good evening. Good evening.
You know,
yes.
A piece of Dominica, which is most appropriate gift to the mamsel.
Well, address her properly. It's not mamsel. Address her properly.
Yes,
She's an Olympic gold medalist. It's a big deal. So let address her a little better, please.
I think you know.
Huh?
In the 50s, with Combo saw their own athletic meet, you know, in Windsor Park.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
At Boy Harris.
True.
You had Pat Blaise.
Pat Blaise.
You had the Larrock, Walton Larrock. You had that fellow in Lazarus Cadet. All them fellow sprinters. We have our own meet, athletic meet.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You know, guys, not a little bit of humor. Somebody said recently they saw cross-country grammar school and all the children had big haversack on their background. That is a joke. We have another caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Sibo.
Yes, ma'am.
And the rest of the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good program. That's my favorite program on Thursday night.
Thank you.
I'm again well.
One thing I have to say, I don't want to be biased against Zed, but I want him to give Sport Break a little slack. Because of the outside world, we get to know about CLR4 and her winning gold. I was so pleased about. Because if Dominica was so much interested, especially the government, they would do like St. Lucia. Right now, they just say St. Lucia say they're going to have a day for Julian Alfred. They want to have a day. They better don't have a day. They better to have a whole month to compensate her.
Okay, thank you, caller. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Lobby.
Sibo. Yes, as I was saying that, you know, our exploits over the years. In fact, Jerome Rome was part of that group. He ended up going, he got a scholarship at Arkansas College. He ended up going there. But we had some fantastic athletes at the OECS games, Sebastian. And I never envisaged that I thought we would have a track before St. Lucia, St. Vincent. I never thought we would have been. I never thought we would have been last Kakarot. I call that, you know. We are last.
And then all these years later, all of these countries have moved on and they've left us behind. I don't get it, you know.
No, but my only problem, guys,
is that
my only problem, Lobby, Dr. Fontaine, locally, I'm not seeing much happening in local athletics, from the athletics at all. We're not seeing a lot of homegrown athletes coming through.
Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you, Sebastian, when my club, Olympians, Windsor Park was our headquarters, Windsor Park.
I know all that.
Was our headquarters.
Yes, right.
So what happened? What can we do again? Gardens?
No, what I am saying, we are not seeing homegrown athletes Lobby coming through.
Yes, Sebastian, you must understand one thing. You must understand that grammar school with their sports day on a Sunday, they had their own grounds, and you can what they did. The sort of athletes that came from grammar school. We had the Windsor Park available. You can produce anything in the gardens. Tell me, when Olympians, we had a sand pit in the Windsor Park. We had a shot put circle. We had a weight room there, you know. We have taken all that. We produced a lot of athletes in those days. What can we do now? Rose, what can we do?
I should be asking you. You, the athletics man, I should be asking you that. Anyway, let's take this caller. Hold on.
Everything is dormant now.
Hold on. Good evening. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I just want to share with you all something which I discussed with some family members. The ideas are not mine, but I find them very good, and I think especially Mr. Lander, would love to hear them.
Well, let us go. We're listening to
you. Called me and said, "What did we do? There was swapped on water when Tina Lafon was having her interview because Gatorade was there, and after we saw Adidas." And another family member the next day said, "But the World Creole Music Festival, we could have used that occasion since the world was watching us to promote our World Creole Music Festival." And I thought, yes, that's good. So I said I would just share it with you all. Maybe other people may hear it. Because since it happened on Saturday, the same way Adidas showed the ad, and so I am really waiting for us to see an ad with the World Creole Festival, the Boiling Lake, or things that would attract people to Dominica. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. We have hold on. We have more callers, guys. Good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, Sibo.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. And good evening to those in studio with you, and Dr. Fontaine and Lobby who call in online.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you appealing, Sibo, for a state-of-the-art playing field in
Goodwill. Yeah, Goodwill. Yeah, what? Because the building they say a state-of-the-art school. Yeah.
Yes, Sibo, that could never happen because it starts wrong already. And I want to speak about two playing fields I know: Caesar in Maho and Goodwill playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, they had the perfect opportunity. You see where this school is presently?
Yes.
Or where this school was?
Mm-hmm.
All that should be extended to be the playing field because there is room at the back. I don't know if it's private land or if it's state-owned. Government could, could have bought from it if it was state-owned to push back the school. And all where the school is would have been the playing field. So the playing field would have been extended to almost international standards. So there, by that, they could get a state-of-the-art playing field. The same thing happened in Maho. There's room at the back of the school in Maho. There's land there. That government could have purchased the land and extend the Maho playing field. But instead of extending it, they build the school on the Teaser playing field and they fail to extend Goodwill. So I don't see them giving them a state-of-the-art playing field in Goodwill. No, if I can, I'll try to get through when you all are on cricket.
Okay, but just to strengthen what the caller said, guys, as we talk about athletics and government, listen, between Maho and Jubla, most of Dominica's elite cricketers came from that area. And when I say elite, I'm talking about if you're picking an all-time Dominica team, at least 8 people will come from that area. You're talking about people like Alec Reed. You're talking about Irvin Shillingford, Grace Shillingford, Norbert Phillip, Lockett Sebastian, David Defoe, Caleb Laura, Roy Marshall. Don't go on. How many playing fields you have going on with them? The caller talk about Maho. Colby Street, where Defoe is from, no playing field. You had people like Rennie John Baptiste. You remember Mero was a big thing in those days. Nothing there. You had, Wigan, St. Joseph. What they have there is not really a playing field. You had people like Laura, Marshall, Ron Coffey, Grace Samuel. All these people. In Maho, you had Badwill, Joey Pierre, Mervyn Thomas. All these people came from the only place down the coast. Even in Collie-Ho, apart from me, Collie had 3 national cricket captains. You had Balti Watt, you had Einstein Chillingford, you had people like Jimmy Langley, Joseph Parrilla, Scott Parrilla, all these people. Nothing has done when you go on the entire West Coast. So really, sports to these people is really not a priority. So it's not only in track and field. Let's take the next caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Thibault. This is Afi Martin.
Yeah, good evening, man. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for calling. Yeah. How are you, by the way? How are you?
I'm well. I'm not feeling as well as I used to, but I'm feeling. And
don't worry about that. You have life, man. You have life. You have life. Yeah.
Listen, I wanted to associate myself with the what Ronald would refer to as the integrated approach.
Mm-hmm.
Because building a facility is one important step, but by itself does not guarantee any success. I wanted to let it be known that part of our problem is that we are too dependent on central government for every single thing that we want done. Sports has the capacity of showing that we can do things without depending on government. Here's where. There is something called the International Olympic Committee. The International Olympic Committee, through the National Olympic Committee, offers vast amounts of resources to all sports that are part of the Olympic pantheon, the Olympic cluster.
You know that.
And these include money to build facilities, money to train people, not just in coaching and physiotherapy, but in sports reporting, in sports research, and sports development generally and specifically. The word scientific comes to mind. So I'm suggesting, has anybody approached the Dominica Olympic Committee and said, hey guys, here is just the most recent success story of Dominica, but in a lot of other Olympic sports, football included, some of our best footballers came to us playing on the worst surfaces in Dominica. But they had not just the talent, but they had the determination, and they had the elders, the veterans, who accompanied them as younger footballers. You yourself, Sibo, as a young cricketer. So I'm suggesting, let us stop thinking of going to government to get anything, right? If you need land, why not approach a few private owners of land and say, look, we need to build a sports facility. We need 40 acres of land. Give it to us. Your name will be forever ingrained in sports in Dominica. You'll get free advertising from anything taking place at that facility. You'll get a lot more back for your company's benefit than you actually put aside to make the facility possible. I'm saying it is every time you keep going to that same trough for everything. Even if they have it, they're not going to give it to you. So I'm suggesting there is a facility available. There is even a channel and a mechanism available. I know, because I have been to the headquarters of the International Olympic Committee. I have been to a place called the International Olympic Committee University in Greece, where there are training opportunities, full scholarship for anybody interested, any association interested in having their persons trained, coaches, reporters, writers, physiotherapists, and I saw students there from all over the Caribbean, except Dominica. So there is a problem of us kind of being singularly minded that everything we want, you have to go to ask government. That gives government control. Stop asking the government for things that you can do and that you have access to. You can get much more money from the International Olympic Committee than you can ever get from any government in Dominica.
Afi, let me ask you a question. Understand everything you have said, but don't you find the government itself, they have failed in their responsibilities?
They have. And the point is, if somebody is constantly failing in a responsibility, why do you keep going back to them to ask them to carry out that same responsibility in which they've been failing? You have to get rid of them.
Yeah, but what you, I totally agree with you, Afi, but what you find happening now, take for instance, this young lady now, she has achieved that big thing. Now they want to use that now. They want to use that.
The message is this. There are options to getting all the resources you need to not only build your sporting facility, but to train all the human resource elements you need. And that is the singularly most important input in something like sports. The human resource. You see Lobby there? Look at Lobby. Who trained Lobby? Mostly he trained himself. But look at how much of a contribution he has been able to make over the years. Imagine somebody like Lobby would have had an opportunity to go to that university in Greece, certified by the International Olympic Committee. He could be a certified coach for sports anywhere in the world as a result of that training opportunity. And that builds beyond the reaches of government. But every time you limit yourself, to building only within what the resources can be made available to you by our government, you're lost.
Afi, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Have a good night and hope you stay safe and be okay. Thank you, Afi. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Good contribution there by Afi.
Very good.
Let's take this next caller, guys. All the lights are going. Good evening. Good evening. Say that again. Well, Afi hearing you, well, you don't have to ask me to tell him that. Just say it, he'll hear you.
But apart from that, he was a student at the grammar school. He went to in America. He asked for a sponsor because he was having flow and up there with no sponsor.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Muki. Yeah, guys.
Yeah. A caller made a very good point there earlier on in terms of the promotion of Dominica. We saw for a while that Fia Lafont was going to evolve. From the time she won the indoor games, we've been speaking about that she's going to evolve. Discover Dominica Authority have taken the opportunity to work with Fia Lafont to promote Dominica. Also, with our 2 players for West Indies, they're ambassadors. And Discover Dominica Authority has not worked with them to promote Dominica. Here again, we're seeing negative economic indicators. Where we have opportunities, where we have Fia Lafont right now on the world stage, and Discover Dominica Authority is not coordinating with her to allow her to promote Dominica. And it is very disadvantageous for us in Dominica. We spoke about what we can award her with. And I think some of the major things that we need to do, first of all, she's from the Mao area. That's where her roots are. So we should give her some property in Warner, some financial award. And the second highest award in Dominica, the Cicero Award. We should, when she comes in, we should allow her to make a presentation to the young people in the Mao constituency and allow her to make a presentation to the Dominica State College, because this young lady has a very challenging past. She's gone through a lot of challenges, and she's stayed there, and you could see from her facial expression, her body language, that she's got a good mindset. So we need her to present that information to us. Then we got a major presentation. She did a presentation in Dominica. And importantly, when she makes that major presentation in Dominica, I would like to see us inviting Jefferson Lee Joseph, the gold medalist in the rugby team for France. I would like to see that guy coming in to be a part of that work.
We have a caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good evening. Good. We okay.
Gentlemen, Discover Dominica didn't miss the opportunity. What happened was that the Prime Minister, that's the whole reason why he called after she won a gold medal so he could still shine, because he wants to be the biggest name in Dominica. Come on, gentlemen. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you. We have another caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sibo.
Yes, sir.
Luby, Dr. Fontaine, and my good. What I would like them to do is doing independent, bring her down to address the youth rally. That's what I would like them to do. Let us address the youth, the feature speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah, guys. Yes.
Sibo, Sibo.
Yes, sir.
Does Lander just said about to bring down the son of Jeff Joseph, all right, of Jeff Joseph, but do not forget also that you had Fred Richard, the gymnast who got a bronze medal. His mother is from Goodwill, Miss Laron, but his father is Haitian. You mustn't forget that also. So we also have this, you have this Dominican roots. You have in rugby, there you have in gymnastics, and this guy is one of the top gymnasts in the US, in the world.
Okay.
Fred Richard.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Fontaine, you're the maths man here, and I want to ask you a question. How do 2 people run 9.79 seconds and one person wins by 0.005? Explain that to the public, please. I would
Okay,
like
no,
to
I'm glad. No, Sibo, I'm glad we are discussing this topic because I've seen all sorts of nonsense on the internet about Thompson won. Thompson did not win. Leo Niles won.
One of
and
course.
For very simple reason.
Let him go. Go ahead.
For very simple reason, the rule is that it's your torso.
Your
Now,
torso.
where did that rule come from? It is not your little leg. People looking at the photo finish and they're looking at the position of his feet in front of Leo Niles. But the important thing is the torso. You remember that long before we had fancy cameras and so on, you would just roll a ribbon, or a line, a piece of rope across, and people would move with their chest. You would hit your chest, and the first person chest that collides with that rope would be the winner.
True.
That has continued down the way. Does that now with the fancy technology and so on, and photo finish and so. The rule remains that your torso is what counts.
True.
Whoever is able to push their chest in front is the person who wins the race.
Obviously.
All the pictures that you've seen, every single picture that you've seen, Lionel's, his chest is ahead of that of Thompson. So to me, there is not even a debate about this.
Yeah,
Thompson
but you see, but the ordinary man would say to you, Dr. Fountain, people run with their feet, not with their chest. The ordinary
No.
I know the rules, I know the rules. In fact, I said it to you.
The rule is the rule.
Right.
The rule says that, and in the past, when we only had a string across, even if your feet was in front and your chest was back, you would not win. Okay, so it always has been that way. That's how the rule evolved, and that has been the rule for track and field for all of these years. So let's not change it. Okay, as much as I would have loved to see Thompson.
Yeah, but the question I asked you, how does he win by 0.005? They both run 9.79. Where did 0.05 came from?
Because you can the clocks that they use, it actually goes to the thousandths of a second. You can in fact do that. You can pick up a thousandth of a second, so that is okay. You know, so there is nothing. You know, I saw a lot of posts saying, "Oh, he was cheating."
Thompson made an error. He was ahead. He didn't lean forward. He was ahead.
Inexperience. Let's take
inexperience.
We come back to you, Dr. Fountain. Inexperience. Let's take that caller.
And see what happened to Leonard today, by the way.
By the way, coming to that. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The great legend. I'm calling to congratulate the Golden Girl Laugher, and also want to say something about athletics, which is support Nobi, Thompson Fountain, and also people I support you too. We need a track, and we need everything that goes with it. And so far, we need it more than now, like yesterday. It's about time. It's a long way waiting. A lot of years in the making, and it's not even there yet. So we hopefully what's happening now will enlighten the eyes of the people that in charge to put a good track in Dominica. And I'm looking forward to see that day before I close my eyes.
Thank you, caller.
I also want to say that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I always want to say that we run on dirt, we run on track, we run on grass, we run in the mud, but now we're supposed to run on tartan track.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, caller.
Robbie, I've made a great contribution to coaching and sports.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And you, Thibault, you are I like to see when you're walking up the pavilion on your cricket bat.
Thank you, man. Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you. We have to move on.
So,
Dr. Fountain, thank you.
I know
Thank you, man. Thank you. Dr. Fountain, let's go back to you about Noel Lights today, yeah? Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. Let's take this caller. We'll come back to that. All the lights going, man. People, yeah. Good evening.
Yes, Sibo.
Yes.
After caller makes a brilliant contribution like what Afimate did, I hate to come up with something that in the ears of the listeners may sound negative, but what I'm about to say is real. It's reality. This government that has been ruling the country for 23 years no matter what happens, yes, someone will donate the 40, 50 acres of land, but they'll find a way to block it.
I agree with you. You're right.
Planning permission, they'll find a way to block it. You see what they did to Donny and the Lindo Park in Goodwill.
Good point.
People, did you listen to Rasgon? Did you hear Ralph Gonzalez? All of a sudden, he becomes an expert on 800 meters. And what year that record did, what happened. But not one of them, not with the exception of Jamaica, not one of them in the OECS has a quality athletic stadium, except Denzel Douglas. Denzel Douglas built a football stadium. He built an athletic stadium.
The King Collins Stadium, yeah.
And the Chinese donated the cricket stadium. Sibo, I would like to see Dominica, my country, our country, become the first country in the OECS that have a state-of-the-art athletic stadium with swimming pool and also an academy. So instead of athletes from the OECS and beyond going to the United States to train, they will be able to come to Dominica to train. That is what I would like to see. That is one of the things they should do for TLR.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Fontaine. Yeah.
Not only that, a state-of-the-art stadium in Dominica can actually attract we can actually have events. We can organize sports meet. We should take our athletes to Martinique to compete. The same way we can organize a regional meet. We can invite people who pay their way, come stay in a hotel.
Sports tourism.
Yes,
that's an excellent way to promote sports.
Yeah,
tourism.
but you were talking about Noel Niles in the 200 meters. Yeah, you were thinking.
Yes, in the 200 meters. And it is very interesting because, I was looking at the races, at the build up to the races, and Tibogo from
Botswana. Yeah.
Botswana. You realize in the semifinals, he beat Leonidas. And the commentator was saying, was Leonidas beaten or did he just not try to win? And I realized at that point that he will most likely beat him in the final because it looked like he was quicker. He was running better. He was more relaxed and so on. So I was very happy to see that Botswana won the 200 meters. But come back to the 100 meters.
No, but before you go to the 100 meters, Noel Niles was very irresponsible. We found out today, Noel Niles, he lost today in the 200, and he claims 2 days ago he was diagnosed with COVID-19. Did you hear that? No, seriously, did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, did you see when he fell, they had to put him on a stretcher? Yes, Noel Niles claimed, and then he's hugging people after the race. People have died from COVID-19, and this man is looking for an excuse now. All of a sudden, yeah, he got COVID-19.
Because
stuff. Yeah.
Because if you look at the race, Sibo, he was ahead,
Yes.
He was ahead coming around the turn. He was way ahead.
Let me say this to you. Yeah.
I beat him fair and square.
Yeah, he's claiming now he had COVID. COVID-19. Did you see him hugging people after the race? And he said he had COVID-19.
And he was running. Exactly.
Not around people. The man is irresponsible.
No, but Sebastian,
yes,
I observe he has been wearing a mask. I'm telling myself, but why? Even in the call room, he has since yesterday. I've been seeing him with a mask, a white mask. But when in terms of excuse, when he finished, gentlemen, the race, I saw him sitting, breathless. I said, that is not something is wrong somewhere. Because that's not, and he came calling for water. I said, this individual, I said, something is wrong. I'm saying that it is very irresponsible on the authorities. I don't believe on the authorities to allow him.
If you know you have COVID-19, go in your bed. How could you be coming in?
That's not bed. The authorities are very irresponsible.
Dr. Fontaine, I just said
because first of all, if you listen to me, first of all, if you're diagnosed, it's not a secret. It will be he'll be in the at the games. I'm saying this: the authorities I find it very slack. If this guy have COVID, to allow the guy to go and run, it's madness. It's only after I realized now, gentlemen, when he gave the interview, I saw the authorities around him. I saw doctor people having masks. Then they decided to do that was much too late.
But it says crazy. You have COVID-19 and you're hugging people, going around people.
But people, who knows how many people that could have been affected after that? Total madness in the village.
Lobby, time is of essence here. We can go on and continue discussing athletics. We have a lot to discuss, but I think we've got Israel Fountain.
Hold on. He's on the line?
Yeah.
But just now.
Because we need to go on.
Yeah, but let us finish.
One very important statement was made by our Prime Minister that Fiala for gold medal was the most valuable achievement since independence. A man who has been in power for 2 decades and saying that the winner for gold medal was the most valuable achievement since independence.
Go figure.
It's not a serious indictment.
Go figure.
That's my last statement.
What about that? You saw the thing, right? About Noel Line. And I am saying, a person does something like that. You are sick. An illness that has killed thousands, maybe millions of people. You're in a stadium with thousands of people, and you're coming there and hugging people.
Blame the authorities. Blame the authorities.
But he himself. How do you come? Didn't you see him after he was hugging people?
Sibo, I saw all this. Sibo, you have to blame because first of all, if you are diagnosed with COVID in the village, they have to inform the authorities. And important steps should have been taken immediately. That is slackness on the part of the French people.
And the man is looking for excuse. When you beat Thompson, he's all about the place jumping. He lost now and he's looking for an excuse why he was beaten fair and square.
Yeah, because it used to be when you have a positive test for COVID, you isolate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know that those rules have changed.
But how man reach on the court?
The medical authorities are saying, I'm just reading the article, they're claiming that yes, he did test positive for COVID. So why was he allowed to compete?
That is it. That is slackness. Because they asked him about the 4x1. He said no. He said he's not sure whether because they realized to take some action now. Because when I saw the interview, I saw a set of people around him taking him. 2 people had masks. Besides, he had a black mask. I saw 2 other people with masks. I don't know, dog and so on, carrying him away. I find that is slackness.
We said crazy boy to come around people and you sick. By the way, guys, the girl, Gabby Thomas, who won the 200 meters, she has Jamaican roots. Her father and grandfather from Jamaica, and she's proud of that. The guy who won the 400 meters, his grandparents, on both mother and father, are from Jamaica as well. So Jamaica really noted to all these American athletes, they have a whole set of roots in Jamaica.
Jamaica has a very poor performance in the Olympics.
Well, they only have 6 medals. Yeah. In fact, where they have suffered, this is the first time in about 30 years that Jamaica hasn't won a medal in the women.
So Sibo, what happened? Manu, what happened? We had, Sherika Jackson, we had
injured.
All of them withdrawing.
Sherika is injured, and what's her name? Fraser Price as well. They've been ill. In the first time in almost 30 years, Jamaica hasn't won a medal in the ladies sprints and the men as well, because Bolt has dominated 3 Olympics. So Jamaica really has suffered. But you know what is happening, Dr. Fountain? They're winning in the field events now, which is good. Yes. They won yesterday in the discus. The guy won. In fact, he said he wants to play in the NFL now. That's what he says. You want to play in the NFL. But
I don't know because to start NFL at that age now, NFL is a sport where you have to start very early. At that age you start, getting knocks. I don't know how we're gonna.
Well, maybe he will have a short career. If he played 2 or 3 years, he'll have enough money to survive. So
yeah, but Sibo, you're talking about the 3 female sprinters in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. It is mind-boggling that the last couple of months, all 3 girls have had problems. All 3 of them, and not even one could go and represent. First of all, it first started at the World Relays in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. That's first they started, And the J was saying that they were not you had to qualify. All right, and they were not aware that you had to qualify. But all teams, they send their best to the Bahamas. So I couldn't understand all 3 girls, all 3 of them in a fountain. They got injured around the same time. Something is wrong. So I am shocked.
Guys, what we'll do,
understand that.
I didn't realize the time has gone. Next week, we will have the Jamaican guy, Little Leafy, with us. So we'll discuss the Olympics, and we probably will have the president of the Athletics Association. Yeah. So Abdul, let's quickly talk about cricket. We have last week Sunday, I think they had the Kalinago Premier League, and we have with us Israel Fountain. Tell us what happened. Good night, sir.
Good night to you, Seaborn. Good night to you, Seaborn. Good night to the rest of your panel, and good night to all your viewers and your listeners.
You had your big final last week, right? Last Sunday?
Unfortunately, no. The weather intervened. Last weekend, we were supposed to have the second eliminator between the Bombers and the Power Punchers to determine the second finalists and the team that would take on the Thunder Kings in the finals. Unfortunately, that game started off pretty well. It was interestingly poised, and the Power Punchers were 89 for 5 after 14 overs. And then the rain came down and spoiled the party. We tried replaying the game on Sunday, but again, the rain intervened. So we push it back to this weekend. So we have to start all over again this weekend. So we are looking to play the first eliminator on Saturday afternoon, weather permitting. And weather permitting, we will do the finals on Sunday. Whoever win the second eliminator, that is between the Bombers and the Power Punchers, they will meet the Thunder Kings in the finals to determine who will be the champion of the 8th edition of the Kalinago Premier League. Because in the preliminary round, we had the Bombers coming out on top and the Thunder Kings in second place. The Power Punchers were in 3rd place, and the Underminers were in the 4th place. And in the qualifiers, the Thunder Kings defeated the Bombers, who were undefeated up to that point. And then in the other match that took place, that was the first eliminator, the Power Punchers knocked out the defending champions and give themselves another chance at making it to the finals. But they will be up against the formidable Bombers. But I have some statistics that you might be interested.
We won't have time for the statistics. We probably can do that next week.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, no problem. But weather permitting, we will try to have the finals on Sunday. But on Saturday, we will have the second. We'll make a second shot at having the second eliminator between the Power Punchers and the Bombers team.
Thank you very much. So we'll keep in touch with you next Thursday, so you can join us again. Thank you very much.
Sure, no problem. And then I'll have all the statistics for you.
Wind up with cricket before we finish. Thank you. We're taking a break.
Thank you, Israel.
Okay, now all the best and good evening to all of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
When you want me bad, what you do? Shop at SCA. Better than the red. Go shop at SCA. And they all compare. Shop at SCA. You get more for what they say. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Yeah. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. What they say. Shop at SCA. ACS family, customer friendly. With 3 locations, it's so convenient. And our prices, they're nice. Madame Monsieur, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCA. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, open neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Okay, guys, we're back and we got a couple minutes. Guys, the West Indies today, what's their name? South Africa, 344 for 8 at the close. You know, guys, I don't know if you guys are watching cricket, but I thought Craig Brathwaite, the captain, very defensive. I saw today Bellingham came into bat, new batsman, and before lunch, and Craig Brathwaite against spinners have men on the long off and long on. They're getting easy single. I just find sometimes it does slack captaincy, very, very poor captaincy. I thought we allowed South Africa get too many runs. In fact, they scored what? Almost 100 runs today in the day.
Yeah, 344 for 8. I mean,
yeah.
You know, you have to question Craig's captaincy. I mean, we have been critical of it in the past, and we continue to be. To me, he's not making the right decisions at the right time.
Yeah, because you have long off, long on, a spinner, and you know how many singles they got today for long off and long on, just pushing the ball down the track. No, and instead of you bringing the men in.
Also on that wicket, given that Warwick's getting so much spin, why not give a ball to Calvin Hodge?
Well, Ian Bishop made that point. He said that Calvin is not the worst spinner. You could have given him a few overs.
Why not give? You know, I don't understand it.
Yeah, very poor captaincy. And guys, before we close, the Dominica team lost yesterday. I watched that game, very poor. And there's a saying that if you fail to prepare, you got to be prepared to fail. The Dominica team practiced 2 weeks, and they're going to play a tournament. I didn't expect them to do very well. St. Vincent scored 254 runs in 33 overs. I was watching that and I said, my men dropping catches and all. And then we went to bat. We were 50 without loss in about 5 overs. And then we went from 50 without loss to 70-something for 6 or 7. And, I stopped watching after that. And after I found out the result.
Yeah, thanks for sending me the link.
But I noticed you also that lady on Ronald. I sent you all the link. But I noticed you all probably fell asleep and didn't see it. But the game today, against Grenada, rained out as well. They didn't play. The game was rained out today. So I think the final game is on Saturday against St. Lucia at the Darren Summit Stadium, and they come back home on Sunday. But again, we cannot be, and that happens not only in cricket, a lot of sports in Dominica. We go to tournaments, we're not prepared. I don't know if people expect the teams to do well when we don't prepare. The same thing happened to the West Indies team in England recently. They went to England unprepared. We saw the result.
Because we were preparing we were playing continuously, Sebastian.
Say that again?
I come back to my fundamental point. The science behind sports. You must have science beyond sports. You must have a mental, organized approach for sports. And this is where Fia Lafo is excelling. You saw Fia body language, her facial expression. You can see this young lady is mentally prepared. The West Indies team is not mentally prepared. They still want to play cricket
well conditioned,
on the board. Even our team from Dominica in the regional competition, they are totally unprepared. They're not mentally ready to participate in that level of cricket. And if you're not mentally prepared to get involved in some activity, you are going to have a poor result.
Okay, guys, on that note, on behalf of Manuel Loblack, Dr. Fountain, Ronald Lunda, our man in the console, Lambert Charles, we have to say good night. We'll be back on the program next week. We'll have cricket. Obviously, we'll have a review of the Olympics. And hopefully we shall have the president of the Athletics Association and the Jamaican correspondent, Leighton Lively. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Let me see. I want to see TC. Okay?
Eternal Father, I approach your throne of grace this evening in thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord, for all you've done. You are such a loving God. Please, Father, take this moment and use me to give you glory and praise. Father, I lift up my country, Dominica, to you. Lord, we're in a state of despair. Give us hope, Father. Deliver this country from unrighteousness and from workers of iniquity. Eternal Father, I approach your throne of grace this evening in thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord, for all you've done. You are such a loving God. Please, Father, take this moment and use me to give you glory and praise. Father, I lift up my country, Dominica, to you. Lord, we are in a state of despair. Give us hope, Father. Deliver this country from unrighteousness and from workers of iniquity who occupy the seats of influence in this nation. Father, in your mercy, let them be removed from positions, scrapped from the rule, and not find any influence elsewhere unless they repent and turn from their wicked ways. Because, Father, there are obstacles in the way of this nation's good standing before God. We thank you, Lord, for Thea Lafont and for this gold medal which has placed our country on the global stage. Thank you, Lord, for the training that she received and the facilities that were available to make her succeed. Father, there are talented sportsmen and women in this country, but the proper sporting facilities to make them excel are not available. and this is to their detriment. Dear Lord, we cannot succeed in sports if the administrators of this country do not pay attention to sports. We cannot succeed in sports if we do not have the key elements in place: a sports policy, government funding, youth development, athletes' welfare, proper sporting facilities for all sports. Father God, sports have been neglected by this administration.